Can you please welcome to the stage Dante Hicks himself, Brian O'Halloran! One of the best girlfriends ever on a movie, Marylyn Gigliotti! Veronica! The Chewlies Gum Guy, Scott Schiaffo! And the character you might know, Jason Mewes!
He wants the solo throne.
Yeah.
Where's the Iron Throne for Jay?
Have you not seen what happened? Oh, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Actually, I'd never watched any of the episodes whatsoever, so I just recently bought the whole 1 through 7 series box set, and then just stayed away from the internet for the end, so. All this kerfluffle and stuff, by the time I get to it, it'll be all gone, and I'll watch it then, and like, really? This was all hubbub was about? That's it.
But you've got to wait till George R.R. Martin does the other 2 books before you can compare the endings, you see. Well, it's a marketing ploy.
At least he can still create some books. That Tolkien guy, he's done.
So yesterday, isn't
so
it?
done.
Right, guys. It's been 25 years since we met Dante at the Quick Stop. What's been going on?
We've all gone online shopping and put Dante out of work, I guess. You know, what's been great about it is that over the 25 years, Kevin's been really cool about creating a world that was his real world, that was his real job, and he had his good friend Brian Johnson, who was his real Randall, and Jay has always been Jay, and so writing about what was around him was a phenomenal success, and the fact that I got to be a part of it, and we all got to be a part of it, was awesome. And we have more coming.
I moved to California, and I'm there 22 years now. Still pounding the pavement, as they say. I've done a lot of other independent films that you can look for on Amazon and check out. A couple sci-fis and a little horror. But also working in the industry as a hair and makeup artist, and working in salon and whatever jobs I can find.
Do you make pasta? Do you make pasta for your boyfriends? Do you bring pasta to their work?
I have made pasta for people. Lasagna, to be specific,
yeah.
Yes. But there's no boyfriend right now, so.
All right.
Super grateful to be a part of the View Askew universe. And I keep really busy. I have a digital studio. I do indie film scoring. I was a musician before I was an actor. And just awesome to be a part of what Brian was saying, a universe that Kevin created. Got to be in a movie called Vulgar, which is another View Askew film. Got to check that out, right? Comic Book Men got to guest on there, was dynamite, so it's all good. 25 years was like a blink of an eye, though.
Sorry, I didn't realize. I thought, are we talking about the characters, what they've been doing for 25 years, or the actual people?
Both.
Both. All right, sorry. They've been all talking about themselves, and I was like, wait, are they talking about Dante, what he's been doing for 25 years? What have I been doing? Same thing. I mean, I've been in all the movies with Kevin for 25 years, and then I've done some independent movies as well. I've been streaming the last year video games on Facebook, which has been really, really amazing. Having a baby, trying to stay sober. I guess I've been staying sober for a while now, so that's been good. But yeah, it's been awesome. I directed my own movie, which Brian was in, and it'll be out hopefully in August. So it's the first movie I got to direct, and also I've been doing my own solo stand-up comedy. I don't want to say it's stand-up comedy as much as storytelling, but Almost. That's what I was out here. I was out here doing all week before I came here I got here last night, like 2 in the morning or so. I came from good old Derby. You wankers. Nah. So waffle on, mateys. I'm learning all sorts of stuff like fucking bell end. Ooh, this is my fucking favorite. Yeah, bell end.
Thank you.
He's ready to get that accommodation from the Queen. He's starting to sound like a local.
I'm horrible at the accents. I wish I was better actually, because it's not just the accent though, it is the words, the terms and stuff. I notice everyone says double out here, like instead of being like, hey, my name is spelled W-E-double-L-double-T, it's like they don't say T-T-A-L-L, everything's double A, Z.
Right.
You know? So it confused me. I messed up like 4 names already, so. Because they'll be like, double L-A, 2-2.
Right. Well, that's like my mother, like my whole family is Irish. So when my mother would say our last name to people, it's O'Halloran, right? So it's like O-H-A-L, like she says, huh, with the H. H-A-L-L-O-R-A-N. And just like,
love it.
And people are like, what? And so it's good to be back though.
I should point out, if there's any children in the audience, you might be learning some new words today. Yeah, bellends.
Well, listen, if parents are bringing kids to this panel, they fucking knew what they were getting into.
Zing! It's good parenting.
It's good parenting. And you're shit out of luck. And if someone brings up snowballing, it's a long car ride home.
Right.
I think I see a few leaving them right now. Ta-ta. Go get themselves a poutine or something.
So, is that one? I've got a couple of questions for you guys, if that's okay. And then we're going to open up to the guys in the floor that are going to ask any questions you like, apparently. We're all right with that?
Yeah, sure.
Be respectful. I think, okay, first question, Brian. How many times have you heard the line, I wasn't even supposed to be here today?
Listen, that line has bought me a couple of cars. He's gotten me travel across the world. And if you're going to talk about the wonderful writing that Kevin does, the timeless one-liners that we all get yelled at, if people are yelling at me or asking me, are you even supposed to be here today? Or I'm not even supposed to be here today, I'm golden. She has screamed at her in public, trying not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot.
Or how many they want to be.
Or what number can they be next?
35, 36.
You know, I'm 37 in a row, so I'm happy with my catchphrase. He's got snoogans, I got I'm not supposed to be here today. He's got how long have you been smoking cigarettes? And then she's got trying not to suck any dick on the way to the parking lot.
37.
Or 37. So I'm good. Ay caramba, right? I mean, that's who doesn't want to hear that from Nancy Cartwright?
And it doesn't bother me. Now, there are people that, sometimes don't realize they cross the line, but I don't have to say anything because usually there are fans that are respectful for me and call them out, so.
Well, yeah, it's just imagine a stranger screaming that at her, and you're not a fan of the movies, but you hear some dude screaming at a woman, hey, try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot. You're like, you go apologize to that woman right now.
Or get her phone number.
Yeah. Crowd of guys start walking towards her.
Hey, slow down. Okay, Jay. This movie was our first meeting with Jay and Silent Bob. How has Jay, the character, changed since his debut 25 years ago?
Oh, you know what? I think Kevin did really well at writing and changing. Actually, as the years went on and I grew up again, in Clerks, that's exactly how I acted as when he met me at 13 or so, up to when we made the movie. And then Mallrats, you know, I got a little bit goofier and the words got bigger, you know, Snoochie Boochies and just a little bit more slapsticky and goofy. And then cut to Clerks 2. I know that Chasing Amy, there was a scene and I say some stuff, but we were listening to a lot of NWA then, that's why we say that. And we really did. It was like the music we were listening to. That's why Clerks 2, there's King Diamond. I was listening to that a lot. I was listening to Q Lazarus a lot, so that's why I put the Tux scene in there. I also had just gotten out of rehab when we shot Clerks 2, so that's why when the two guys come up and they say, hey, where you been, man? And I say, hey, I got sentenced to 6 months in rehab for a deployed airbag. So I mean, the characters changed as my real life changed, and I think Kevin did pretty well at like keeping Jay, but like changing him just a bit, not making him as, I mean, I guess he's always obnoxious, but you know, just sort of changing him with the time. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess, you know, you could see it on the movies how Jay changed, I feel.
And what about in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot?
He really sticks to that, and I'm so afraid to give stuff away because I did my amusing stories in New York, and TMZ every once in a while.
That's Kevin flying over saying, "Shut up, Jay!"
The TMZ doesn't normally stop me. It's like people don't really recognize me that often when I'm out and about. But every once in a while I'll come out of the airport and they'll say, hey, and they always ask me questions like, what do you think about the football team kneeling? And what do you think about Trump and this? And I'm always clueless because I don't really follow the news. So I'm always like, I don't know. But anyway, my point is it just happens they catch me coming out of the amusing stories in New York. And the guy was like, hey man, I heard you're gonna be shooting Reboot. And at that point, I had just that week that Kevin had said like, hey, everything's going as planned. We're gonna shoot in New Orleans in about 2 months. Now, Kevin on the podcast had mentioned that to everyone, every time we did a podcast, he'd be like, hey, we're gonna read a scene from the script and we're shooting Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. But I didn't realize and put together, he never mentioned the date or where we were shooting. And I said that, and then fucking literally like an hour later, my wife and him both text me like, what the fuck, dude? And I was like, what? And they're like, you're on TMZ talking about the movie coming out. I was like, you talk about it all the time. He's like, yeah, but the financiers wanted to make an announcement that it would be out we'd be shooting in February in New Orleans. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And so they weren't that pissed because it wasn't that big of a deal. Because I only just said around, in around 2 months in New Orleans. But anyway, my point is that the movie, the character, he really changed. Jay is, changed from the first Clerks to Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. He's really sort of wrote Jay into Jay, in the last few years or so. But I don't want to give anything away by even a little bit, so I'm so worried about even how I say that, because I don't want to get in trouble.
But I'm going to say...
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, it has nothing to do with the plot or anything, that watching him and because I'm a part of the film as well, watching him be working on Reboot and the work that he did on Reboot, you guys are in for a giant, huge, wild, hilarious ride. This man crushes it.
Stop it, thank you.
There's a reason you're top billing in the title, sir.
Thank you, sir. That's very nice, honestly. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We had fun. And there's a lot of cool people who jumped, like people from the old movies, and I don't know, Kevin did really well, I feel like, writing in all the movies and sort of throwing in these little throwbacks.
Right. This is without the horrible sacrifice of certain main characters in Endgame. This is like Kevin's Endgame of bringing all the previous films and people and characters together for a really great moment.
Yeah.
So.
Marylyn, is it true that you got the part of Veronica because you could cry on cue, and has this ability or any other ability helped you in any other situation?
Well, this is what I was told. And supposedly Walter from Comic Book Men was freaked out about it. But the monologue itself that I had done was something that was very much here. Because it was talking about how I feel like I've never heard, I've never seen, or anything like that. And it's, I'm a middle child who's never listened to, oh, me too. So you understand.
All right, so moving on, next question.
So yeah, I mean, it wasn't very hard. Now, I will say this. That wasn't necessarily my best performance of that monologue. I've done it so much better, but I'm glad it got me the part.
And wait, I want to know, does it help you in other situations?
As far as...
Has it helped you in other situations where you just cry and feel like someone...
Officer, I wasn't speeding.
Yeah.
I'm on my way to my diet.
Honestly, I'm such an emotional person, I can cry at a commercial. I mean, and little videos that I see on YouTube or social media and about these very heartwarming things, and I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, it doesn't take much to get me crying.
You were about to cry at last night's dinner because the dinner was too spicy for you.
Yeah.
You were. She was like, take this back.
No, but we've been in situations where it's like we're all, it's a family for me when we come and get together, and there have been moments where we're sitting at dinner and we're talking all of a sudden and I get all teary-eyed and get emotional, so yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Let's make her cry now. I love this big TV screen up here, man.
I know, you want to play Fortnite on it, don't you?
Big J.
That's a great angle of you, buddy. There you go. Look at that. You've lost some weight, I see.
Not really, but I love it. I played Fortnite last night on a projector in Derby in the quad where I did my show. They had a projector in the office and they let me stream there. It was pretty cool. Wasn't that big though. That would be actually cool. Anyway, go for it, young man.
Scott,
Yes.
when Dante got to the store, the shutter was stuck because some gum was in the lock. Can you confirm, was this Julie's gum?
Absolutely.
And was it you who did it?
A lot of speculation about that. But if he would have jammed the locks, then he never could have gotten in to do his spiel. So it doesn't make sense he would have jammed the locks, you know?
He likes to wander.
I'm
Don't
worried.
worry.
I don't want to sit anymore, sorry. But go for it.
Have another Red Bull, that'll help.
All right, so in general,
Fucking smartass.
how much of the shoot was improvised, and how much leeway did Kevin give you with the script and the characters, or did you kind of stick to what you were given on paper?
As Jay will totally confirm, the very first film, it's written, that's the way it's said, there was really...
By the book.
You
There was only one line that Kevin kind of referred to me with, whether Veronica would actually say something to that. I don't even remember the line anymore, but there was just one line that was changed.
But as far as like delivery, he would give you notes on delivery. With Jay, he would give Jay the essence of what he wanted to get out of him, and then Jay would just be Jay and roll with it, so which was always great. As the years went on, like by the time we got to Clerks 2, which was 10, 11 years later, he had worked with Jeff and I, and obviously Jay, for quite a few years by that point. And so he took our input as to, well, maybe we could do this, maybe we could do that. He was really, really cool with that. See, thus parents, you never know. Don't even have to say words and it gets awkward. Which is so fun because it's not a shoot unless Jay is trying to hand job somebody.
Nah.
Or trying to Dutch.
I was really nervous on the first Clerks though. I got like really...
Well, we
Well, yeah, we saw that.
couldn't be around you.
Yeah, I made everyone...
We couldn't watch you. He would say, can we have everybody leave? So literally,
Yeah.
Scott would turn the camera on, or Dave would put the camera on, and then walk away and go inside the store while Kevin would tell them, all right, now do this, and they would do the scene, and then be like, cut, all right, everybody come out, and then Scott would, or Dave would come out and turn the camera off. So we didn't know really what he was doing at any time until we saw it in film.
I've been talking about this on my show, on my stories, but if you guys have seen Clerks recently, or next time you watch it, when I'm like, Olaf, sing Berserker, girls think sexy, and he does this thing, and then it's supposed to cut back to like us reacting, but if you notice, there's an insert. Kevin shot a bunch of inserts and like, you know, the nacho and all this. It's our feet doing this. It's so weird because it goes from Olaf being like, duh, duh, to like me being like, you know, this is my cousin, and then it cuts to him, and then it cuts back to mine and Kevin's feet doing this, because he couldn't find a good shot of me being like, Olaf. I was like, Olaf, girls think sexy. Because I was so nervous all the time until I got drunk.
See, I thought it was just his homage to Footloose.
You would think, if you didn't know, you would think, but now you all know why. It's because I was like, Olaf, sing Berserker, girls think sexy.
Can someone get Jay up here?
Yeah.
I need you to be more angry.
And then there was a few times I was too wasted that storm. I'm like, no, smoke a weed, pack a raps, my good man.
Do you remember there was a time where Jeff and Lisa were late, and they went and got you from a party? You weren't even supposed to film one night, and they took you from a party, and you were like 3 sheets to the wind, but you still showed up, and we filmed you doing something just because, and it was like, you were great. You probably don't remember that night, but you were great.
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it was too much, you know, but yeah.
And now you just get a natural high.
And yes.
So, when you were filming this movie, did you have any idea at all?
This is going to look
25 years.
This is going to be great on your resume reel.
25 years later, that it would become a cult classic, and you'd still be asked about it 25 years time.
Well, that's the greatest thing about this movie, is that we've actually suckered all you motherfuckers into thinking that it's a great movie to keep on watching it, which is great. No, honestly, I didn't think at the time we were making it, because it was so independent, that it would, I didn't know about the industry enough to go like, well, you make a film, you take it to film festivals, hopefully someone buys it, wants to distribute it. I didn't have that wherewithal. I was a young actor just wanting to get into work and stuff like that. While Kevin and Scott and Dave, who went to film school, knew the whole steps of getting it done, and with their persistence, we got it into the New York independent feature film market, which then one person, thank God, by the name of Bob Hawke, saw the film and then recommended it to Sundance. But I always thought, like, look, you know, at best I'd get a VHS copy of the film. Kids ask your grandparents what a VHS copy is. And then I'd be able to show it to friends like, hey, look what we did, this goofy fucking movie at this guy's convenience store kind of thing. But thank God that people saw it and that it picked up and it resonated with people, because I think it resonates because everybody's been to a shop where you've either worked in a shitty retail position where you're overeducated, underemployed, where, God man, I gotta get out of this startup job and move on. Or you've been to a store where you've been treated like shit and you're like, why do these guys even have a job? A bunch of fucking idiots. So I think that's why it still resonates. Kevin's writing and the fact that he's been so successfully prolific over the years with this Mewes universe and lovable characters like Jay and Silent Bob and the people like, you know, T.S. and Brody and all these great characters come together, and it's a world that I'm glad I'm a part of.
Kevin just has a way of expressing himself that I admire so much. I really do. I wish I could talk like that.
All right, guys. If you've got a question for our panel, there's 2 microphones over there. If you want to start queuing up, we will go one to one until we get. What is your fondest memory of your time making Clerks?
Wait, I thought you were going to give other people a chance.
No. We're getting them a chance to queue up.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
For me, it's just
Selfish.
It's just working with my friends, and Brian and I, we have theater history before Clerks, so that's it for me, all of that.
What about you, Jay?
What was the question?
Where are you?
Where are you now? What is the question?
What was your fondest memory of making the movie?
Clerks?
Clerks.
Like he said, there's no memories because I was like, I was all fucked up. I mean, it was a really nerve-wracking. I was very nervous when I was sober, or I was really drunk, so I really did have like Kevin told the story, I don't remember, but he said there was a scene where this older gentleman was in the store. It was the guy trying to go through, I think, the whole like the construction worker, Star Wars, and the Death Star, and I was in the back laying on the cooler waiting for my turn. And he kept fucking up his dialogue, kept fucking it up, and had to start again and start again. I was like, come on already, don't you fucking remember anything? Like I yelled at him and shit. I don't remember all that shit, but...
That's in Shooting Clerks.
Oh, it is?
Right,
Shooting
yeah, they
Clerks.
show that.
See?
Yeah, so he took that real story and put it in the film. But what was fun, because I was there, what was funny about it was, so the guy kept messing up this simple line, and Jay kicks in like, oh, come on, man, even I know the line by now. Like, literally, because you kept hearing it. Where I felt bad for the guy, but at the same time, I was like, fucking A right, man, what the hell? He's got time to go. But it was just so funny that coming from the 17-year-old drunk kid in the back room, I'm like, he's got it. He's totally got it right now.
So, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I think for me, it was just such a weird experience. Because again, I would work my normal job. I was roofing, and just like I was nervous, and I would get wasted and stuff. But again, I guess my favorite, the memories for me was the experience of like meeting these guys and going through the process. But again, it's like when it was done, same with Brian. I had no idea that we watched it in the video store on the little Avid. Like fucking steam back and shit, and I thought that was it. I was like, cool, we saw the movie, we did that's what you did, Kevin, great job. And I didn't know that it was a chance in hell that it could be bought, that movies could be bought at a film festival and then be put out on big screen, and then maybe get a picture deal for other movies, and Mallrats happens. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, it was interesting.
How do you deal with the nervousness now, or do you find it a lot easier to deal with, or?
Oh yeah, I mean for Mallrats, because when we did Mallrats, Kevin and Scott knew about my nervousness and being scared, but also the studio was like, look, you've never had any acting classes, schooling, or anything. You've never done any other movie. This kid never did any other movies, so they made me audition for the part. So I had auditioned for Jay, but honestly, I didn't really care. I cared. I wanted to be part of it. I didn't want to lose the opportunity of being in a studio movie. But I wasn't scared of auditioning for some reason, because I almost didn't care, because I was like, Kevin and Scott are not going to let them give it to someone else, which they did. They fought for it but they didn't pay for me to go out to Minnesota. Everyone else got paid to go out to Minnesota, put in a hotel for rehearsals 2 weeks before the movie started actually shooting. I had to sleep on Kevin's floor, and Kevin had to pay for me to come out, because they're like, we're not paying for him, but we'll let him shoot the first day, but if he doesn't do a good job, then we're going to call the guy that we want, which was Seth Green. The studio wanted Seth Green. But again, I think just because I knew like there was all this pressure built up, and I rehearsed it so much with Kevin by myself for Mallrats, that when it came time, there was like the studio, the producers were there watching literally my every move, and so I just had to do it. I was nervous, don't get me wrong, but I was like I wasn't like, hey, everyone's got to go inside nervous. I was just more like, hope I do this good job of dancing. And it was that scene where I was like, here, kitty, 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 and all that stuff. So, I mean, it really sort of pushed me through. In Mallrats, I was a little nervous each time I shot a scene, but not the same type of nerve. Like the Clerks, for some reason, I was literally nervous. It'd be like if I had to come out here butt naked and shit and have everyone come judge my dick size or something. Like, I'd be really nervous. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. But Clerks was really bad. I was like super, super nervous, and I would freeze up. But yeah, so I think Mallrats, I was still nervous, but I had to get through it. And then it got easier. Chasing Amy, I wasn't nervous because it was one scene and I had that shit memorized. Same with Dogma. Dogma, I was out there like 2 months and I had the whole script memorized. So yeah, I just, I don't know. It's sort of just as more times I did it, the more comfortable I got in front of camera. Even on stage, it's funny, if you go back, even after I did all the movies and got more comfortable doing the movies, if you go back and watch Evening with Kevin Smith from way ago, he used to bring me with him, and he would do like an hour of Q&A, and then he'd be like, I have a guest here, a surprise guest, and I would come out, and people would ask me questions, and I'd be like, yes, no, I don't know. I was really nervous about being on stage, seriously. And now I do my own Evening with Mewes and such. So, I don't know, I think it just comes with practice and being in front of people and feeling more comfortable and stuff. For me personally.
I always find it funny that to think that Seth Green could have had your role. And now I imagine the Jay character sounding like Chris Griffin, like, you know, like, oh, Snoochie Boochies, you know, and feel like weird.
It would be, I think, just visually how weird it would be with Seth Green and Kevin. And he's like, kneel before Zod. And he's like, where do you get those wonderful toys? And it's fucking Seth and Kevin on the ground.
Right.
Did Seth Green have to audition for that?
He did.
He actually
Is there
had
videotape about that?
You don't understand. Seth Green auditioned Kevin, like, I think Kevin Connolly, fucking Mark Gosselaar. Like, there was a lot of people. I walked in, I remember walking in, I was like, snooch to the fucking douche. And it was like Jason Lee, Ethan Suplee, Tobey Maguire, fucking Jennifer Love Hewitt. Like, it was crazy.
It'd be funny. The only person I could see back in those days would probably been like Pauly Shore.
Still pulling it off and shit. He's like, I'm the weasel snooches.
But the problem would have been he would want to rewrite the lines, and Kevin like, no, shut up and say what I said. But we digress.
Right. Let's go to that microphone over there. Hello.
Hi.
Let's have your
Jesus,
first.
that's bright. It's like,
That is not a question, sir. It is right.
it's like God's judging me right now, so I can't fuck this up.
No, what that is a stoner test. If you can't stand the light, you're stoned.
Look, and you're up there really big for the whole world, bro, on this big... Oh, no, don't go to me. Go back to him. There you go. Thank you. Look at... It's you! Bom, 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 bom. Ski-dong, ski... No, go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay. My question's for Brian, and I think you're gonna hate me for asking you this, but if you had to choose who's more fun to work with, Marylyn or Rosario Dawson?
Whoa, bro.
Put on the spot.
I don't know why I'm gonna hate you. She's gonna hate me, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Rosario.
They're two different characters in two different films with two different agendas, and so we were working real jobs while working on the first film. So to get the camaraderie that you would normally have working on a film where that's all you're doing, like we did on Clerks 2, which this guy was the court jester, like he kept that set rolling with fun all the time. So Rosario's awesome. She, you know, it was a dream working with her. I had known Marylyn before working on the first Clerks. We had done theater together, so working with her was very comfortable and a lot of fun. And as you notice, she's sitting on the couch next to me. Where's Ro? Where's Ro, baby? No, I'm kidding. She's hanging out with Cory Booker, trying to be First Lady of the United States. So
He has her phone number.
yeah, I do have her phone number. So, but she's awesome and a dream, and so is Marylyn. And who do you like better, sir? Turn it around on you.
That's tough. I mean, Rosario's got like that jungle fever, I guess, but I mean...
Wow. Just wow, sir.
But Marylyn...
What the...
Seriously, Marylyn's the best. Come on.
Yes, round of applause for Marylyn, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
You may now go to Rita.
Silent Bob is up next.
Yay! It's Kerry Smith! Let's see him. Yay!
Wait, how is he going to ask us your question?
You know, there's a million fine-looking women in the world, dude, but not all of them bring you to land your work. Most of them just cheat on you. But no, in all seriousness, you guys have been like... Ooh, I'm on the big screen, I'll get a picture of this. You guys have been my absolute inspiration in terms of everything. Oh, that's so cool.
You're taking a picture of yourself.
Take a picture of yourself.
We've got the stars.
What's gonna happen?
We've got the stars of the movie here. Can you do that?
So I've been a clerk, I've been a retail worker, and I've also been like Jay, and I've also been like Bob. You guys in the films just managed to encapsulate almost every form of our culture, you know, the fanboy culture, you know, yours in random speeches about Star Wars, and just Jay and Bob's, just how they live their life. You've captured it so well for both US and UK audiences. It's why it resonates, it's why we come here like this. I just want to thank you all for everything that you guys have brought to our cinemas, to our TVs, you know.
Right on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Honestly, you've brought characters to life that I am so thankful for personally, obviously. I wish Kevin was here so I could thank him as well, but yeah, you guys are on.
Right on, brother. Thank you.
Thank you,
brother.
sir.
Thank you. Oh, good. My substitute's here. Here we go.
What can I say? This is a question pretty much for you, Brian. It's from the directed cuts, or not directed, the DVD,
Right.
shot at the end.
Yes.
What was the reason for that change? And I remember that scene quite well. You look quite surprised. Can you give any sort of insight who was going to do that? Or was that just some random douche?
Oh, who's the person who shot me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so there's the scene where Jay and Silent Bob are outside the store, and they look off camera and they go, "Doesn't that guy owe us money? Hey, dude," and then you hear that he takes off. We kind of thought that it was that guy. To get the money to pay Jay and Bob, some dude comes in and shoots and kills Dante behind the counter. When I first read that in the script, I hated it, because like, what do I want to die for? But we shot it anyway, and I understood why Kevin was doing it. I mean, because A, that really happens. Shopkeepers do get shot, you know, just doing their job. And so I understood trying to put a serious point on a funny dick and fart joke kind of movie. Thankfully, Kevin met producer's rep John Pearson, who was also the same producer's rep for like Spike Lee and a bunch of other great filmmakers. And he said, "Look, man, this is a comedy. This is a straight up comedy. With that ending, all you're going to do is piss off your audience by killing off one of the main characters. So why don't we end it when he says you're closed, and we just end it right there?" Which, in the end, he was right. So we originally, the first time we ever screened the movie at a film festival, that was the only time we showed that ending. And then they went into editing, they went to Sundance, showed it with the non-killing ending, and then it went really well, got picked up by Miramax, and we got distribution from there. So that scene was, you know, I was always against it, and in the end it became what we now consider a deleted scene DVD extra, which didn't exist when we were filming. It was VHSs. You didn't go, "Oh, if you keep playing the tape, maybe we'll see something that wasn't in the movie." So, there you go.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
Handsome motherfucker there.
Down straight.
There you go.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
Is everyone filming their own?
I know, right?
Clerks 3?
Clerks 3. You know, we were geared up to do it, and Jay will testify to this as well. We're ready to go. Jeff Anderson had issues that he wanted to address, and it didn't get addressed the way he wanted to get done. And so we had to put that on the shelf. Is it a complete out of not going to happen kind of sense? I don't think so. In working with Kevin this past a couple of months ago on the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and just in talking to him about different things, there is a glimmer that it might be able to be brought off the shelf. It's a matter of just getting the right people back together and getting back to the table and maybe working it out. That's kind of where I'm at in my hopeful world sense of view.
Put the prayers and the energy out there.
Yeah, so in the meantime though, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot will be coming out this fall from what I've been told sometime. In the meantime, Jay's movie that he wrote and directed comes out this August. They just made the announcement yesterday, called Madness in the Method, shot up in Derby, a ton of cameos in it, and that kind of sweetly leads right into the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. It's not necessarily anything to do with the Mewes universe. It's Jay Mewes as an actor getting through the world of Hollywood, and it's hilariously done. It's one of the last cameos that Stan Lee did is in it. Danny Trejo's in it, Vinnie Jones, and this guy directed his ass off, and really it was a really great moment of just watching him really grow as an actor.
Thank you.
You're welcome, brother.
No, he acted his ass off. He did.
I did.
He did.
I had no ass by the end of it.
It was nice. It was nice to see.
Tell us a little bit about the movie, Jay.
Oh, I'm horrible at that. I can't do it. I really can't. I'm horrible at explaining movies, and I won't do it justice, and I'll just make it sound horrible.
Where can they see the trailer, Jay?
I don't know. Where can they see it?
Is there a website for the movie yet?
No, I don't know. Dom.
We have the producers, one of the producers in there.
Yeah, he knows more than I do.
But
sorry, I've been honestly. It was about a year and a half ago, and it's been a lot of ups and downs of things that were going on and trying to get things finished and all that. And then I've been touring, and then we did Jay and Bob reboot. So it honestly, I sort of had to put it in the back of my head, and so I really haven't kept up with. Luckily, the producers, and there's another producer, Rob, who's been trying to finish this paperwork, and because it's been done in LA, and there's tax credits, and there's UK and all that. Dom, are you in the back there, boss?
he's probably having a cigarette.
Where are you, Wanka? Is there a place to see the trailer? When's it going to be possible? Next month, there you go. Follow my social media and I'll have more details for you and such.
Yeah.
But then answer that question.
So, one last question from me. Obviously, you're all part of the View Askew movie universe.
It's so funny how the Brits say
I
that.
know, right? I was thinking that myself.
You're in my backyard, mate. All right. We call it Clerks.
And I'm on it. No, it's Clerks. It's Clerks. Right. And I'm like, aren't those shoes Clarks?
No.
Went to Rada, you know. So, if there was any other movie franchise you could be involved in, which one would you pick and why?
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Oh.
Well, go ahead. What
Marvel, Star Wars.
Yep, pick one.
One.
No.
Pick one.
No.
Well, then you're not
No.
answering the fucking
You're not playing the game.
Jay?
I can't. It's like, yeah, I can't do those.
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking about it. I feel like there's something I love and I just can't think about it right now.
This is like a Brody question, like from Mallrats. Scott, what would you do?
A franchise I can't think of, but I could think of a film that I would have killed to have had the main role in, and that was Angel Heart. That would never have happened. I mean, that was Mickey Rourke, and as far as I was concerned as an actor, that guy was like one of the main guys that influenced me when I was younger. But
To get into boxing?
that's
You know what? Oh, God, that's a good question and tough question.
Yeah.
I remember when they were doing the casting for Doctor Strange, I'm like, I could do Doctor Strange. I already have the goatee and the hairstyle. So he's a little portly, who cares? Why does he have to be Dreamboat Cumberbatch looking? Fuck. And then there was some fan did a internet kind of like campaign to get me to be Doctor Strange. So I'm just like, I'd be Dr. Portly Strange instead of, you know. I used to always say Star Wars, even if I was like Stormtrooper number 4 in the back, third line in, you know, just because that was the movie as a kid that really changed my perspective of the world and space travel. I remember coming home watching that movie with my brothers in the car going, I have 2 older brothers, one 6 years, one 9 years older than me, going, ha, when I'm ready to drive, I'm going to have a land speeder. Where the fuck is my land speeder? It's been friggin' so long since that first Star Wars came.
And the lightsaber.
I know. Well, the lightsaber I can understand. There's a weirdness of how far you can get the laser to go. And then everybody goes, well, it's the Force. And it's like, that's your answer for everything.
So you'd say Star Wars?
Yeah,
You'd say
old school.
Marvel, just anything Disney?
No.
Well, then you might that covers everything.
Although, yeah, they kind of do fall in the Disney.
Yeah, you cover both.
One thing.
We're talking about movies only, right?
A franchise, so it could be the Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC Cinematic Universe, Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. But they're all movies. It's not like TV shows like Game of Thrones.
You want to be in Game of Thrones?
I would say, if we're going to go movies, I'll say the Indiana Jones series.
Oh, No Time for Love, Dr. Jones.
Yes.
Ooh, I just thought.
Oh, go ahead.
Godfather series. Godfather series. Change my answer.
Oh, there you
Godfather.
go. Second.
God, you're so Italian.
Schiaffo.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for the panel from Clerks 25-year anniversary?
Thank you.
Stand up and wave. Don't be quiet. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're back with a couple more panels today. Once again, it's only for our lovely guys from the Viewer's Universe.